You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Yunette Gentry. Thanks for joining us on Ace Country Radio, and we're also streaming at KPVM.TV. We're also on your Roku devices. It is Thursday, July 17th. Happy National Ice Cream Day. In our top story, Anthony Aguilar and Carlos Blakely both appear in court to waive their 15-day preliminary hearings. News 25 has the details.
Family and friends from both defendants as well as the victim filled the courtroom today as both Anthony Aguilar and Carlos Blakely stood in front of Justice Court Judge Kurt Vito and waived their 15-day preliminary trial. Judge Vito also set a new preliminary hearing date for September 22, 2025. Both Aguilar and Blakely remain in custody without bail at the Nye County Detention Center pending further proceedings. News 25 will continue to update the public on more information about Aguilar and Blakely as it becomes available.
In more courtroom news, a wanted man is behind bars tonight after a tense standoff with deputies in Pahrump. Investigators say that man had been posting videos of himself using drugs on social media before his arrest Tuesday afternoon.
A wanted man who was allegedly posting videos of himself using drugs on social media was taken into custody on Tuesday afternoon following a tense encounter with deputies here in Pahrump. According to the Nye County Sheriff's Office, deputies responded to a home around 4 p.m. on July 15th after a neighbor reported that Vincent Stone, who had an active arrest warrant out for him, had recently uploaded TikTok videos showing him using narcotics at the residence. The neighbor, who wished to remain anonymous, also provided deputies the TikTok account, which matched Stone's identity. When deputies arrived at Stone's home, they used their vehicle's PA system to order him to come out. Stone was also informed that he was under arrest. Despite repeated commands, deputies say Stone had been walking along his northern fence line and refused to comply. Shortly after, another deputy spotted Stone running into a neighborhood yard. The residents of the home consented to a search, and Stone was found hiding under a dining room table. Deputies say he continued to ignore commands to surrender. As deputies attempted to remove Stone from under the table, Stone allegedly pulled away and reached for his belt line. Canine Coolio was deployed, and deputies say that Stone responded by kicking the dog multiple times. After the altercation, Stone was placed into custody. He was medically cleared by paramedics at the scene and was transported to the Nye County Detention Center. Vincent Stone is currently facing several charges, including resisting arrest by refusing to exit from underneath the table, obstructing a police investigation by fleeing to a neighborhood property, and mistreating a police animal by kicking the canine during the arrest.
Turning now to the sports world, our Aces MVP, A'ja Wilson, reaches a season high in terms of scoring. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the world of sports with our sports reporter, Mikey Ruhan.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. The Las Vegas Aviators resume the second half of their season tomorrow as they welcome the Round Rock Express. A'ja Wilson scored a season-high 37 points and grabbed 10 rebounds in her 8th double-double of the season. And the Las Vegas Aces beat the Dallas Wings 90-86 on Wednesday night. Next up for the Aces, the Atlanta Dream visit on Tuesday. Barreros versus Pacquiao takes place this Saturday at the MGM Grand Arena In Las Vegas, the inaugural Nevada State Horseshoe Pitching Association's Pioche Singles Open successfully concluded on June 28th at Pioche Town Park. Dylan Robinson took home first place, Tyson Nelson took home second place, and Natalie Dilger from Pahrump secured third place. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Thanks so much, Mikey. Well, in more local news, Crafting for a Cause is hosting its annual Christmas in July event this Saturday at the Bob Roode Community Center. Proceeds from that exciting event will benefit Southern Wilds. That's a nonprofit organization dedicated to protecting and preserving wild mustangs and burros.
Hi, my name's Lisa. I'm with Crafters for a Cause. This Saturday, from 9 to 4, we'll be hosting a crafters event at the Nye County Coalition. The nonprofit we'll be supporting is Southwestern Wilds Incorporated. At the event, we'll have multiple vendors doing their handcrafted items. And from 11 to 12, we'll have the Island Princess come visit. The kids can do crafts with her, hang out, take pictures. We'll have a live DJ. Retro Music will be in the house playing music while you're shopping. It's going to be a wonderful event. Please come out and support our nonprofit, and we look forward to seeing you. Here today I have Vicki with Southwestern Wilds, and she's going to tell you about her nonprofit.
Well, first off, I want to thank you tremendously for not only the offer and inviting us, and for Southwestern Wilds to be part of the beneficiary program of this wonderful event. A lot of crafters, a lot of vendors are going to be there, and we're so excited for everybody to come out and not only support the event, but while you're doing so, you're supporting a pretty important cause that a lot of us have our hearts behind and our passion involved in, and that is our mustangs and our burros. We are a rescue advocacy nonprofit. We work in many different areas within not only Pahrump, but within Nye County. And one of those is in preparing a safe haven for the mustangs and the burros that are in holding right now with BLM, and also those mustangs and burros that ultimately will be rounded up. So we're kind of dealing with a ticking time bomb. We are trying to hurry up and get this safe haven done. In addition, we're working with the county with regards to signage, not only around the Calvada Eye, but around our county. You know, the sad thing is that most of our mustangs, they are wild when they come down. However, they end up becoming a little bit more domesticated, and it ends up with humans putting them in harm's way, where eventually, a lot of times, as we've seen happen at the Mount Charleston herd, is they have to be picked up because it's gotten too dangerous. The public wants to pet them and feed them, and it is against the law. So I want to do a big shout out for our Nye County commissioners who have supported us. Also, they're going to be getting some signage up, and again, supporting you guys with what you do, and thank you so much. Every little dime counts. You have no idea how important it is. And we're going to have lots of new t-shirts, our new logo. So it's going to be a really fun day. So come on out and have a great time.
A former Nye County leader shares his thanks to the community during his road to recovery. All that and more when News 25 returns.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Former Nye County Sheriff Wade Liski continues to recover after unfortunately suffering a stroke earlier this week while he was in northern Nevada. KPVM TV News 25 was the first to report about this incident. Liski has since spoken with News 25 and shares that thankfully he is doing well. Liski says he is deeply touched by the kind words and gestures from the community that he's received and expresses gratitude, saying that those kind words are helping him during his recovery. In the meantime, KPVM KPVM TV continues to send our heartfelt thoughts to Wade and his family, and we will share any new developments as they come in. And in more area news, federal officials are now exploring changes to competitive events at the Red Rock National Conservation Area. We have more information on what those changes are right now.
The Bureau of Land Management said it is seeking public input on a draft programmatic environmental assessment for special recreation permits management. This plan would add new commercial, competitive, and organized group uses to the available opportunities for permits at Red Rock Canyon. Commercial and competitive permits would allow groups to use designated roads, trail, or other developed recreation sites for guided tours, competitive races, and rock climbing contests, among other things. BLM officials say they want to evaluate which types of permits would be appropriate for the area, if the number of each type of permit is appropriate given visitation changes, and whether any mitigation measures are necessary. The public comment period is open through August 18th. All comments will be considered before a final environmental assessment is prepared, according to the BLM. Those interested in providing feedback can email BLM_NV_RRSFO_SRP_comments@blm.gov.
In today's health news, have you ever noticed that your mood seems to change during really hot days like today? Have you ever found yourself suddenly getting more angry or even irritated? Well, there's a good reason for that.
Today's health report is brought to you by Desert View Hospital. When you or a loved one needs medical attention, Desert View Hospital is ready to help. We've been providing friendly and compassionate care to our neighbors since 2006, including emergency services available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit desertviewhospital.com to learn more. With limited exceptions, physicians are not employees or agents of this hospital.
When it is hot, your body is working on overdrive to keep it cool. This creates stress on the body, which releases cortisol, the stress hormone. It drains you of your energy and your emotional resources to think through issues in a logical way.
Dr. Susan Albers is a psychologist at Cleveland Clinic. She says studies show that during heat waves, there is an increase in emergency room visits, suicide, aggression, and violence. The heat can also impact your sleep. You may find yourself feeling more impatient or irritable the next day. So what can people do to help keep cool? Dr. Albers suggests being mindful of your mood. If you find yourself feeling cranky, the weather could be to blame. She also suggests staying indoors when it is possible.
Plan activities around the heat. Do workouts, have difficult conversations, go on errands in the morning or the early evening. This is going to conserve your energy and take advantage of the coolest parts of the day so that you don't get overheated and to keep your mood regulated.
Well, News 25 will have your weather and much more news you can use when we return.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, in today's powerful news, let's take a moment to think about the intricate electrical grid that powers our community. Behind every light, device, and crucial component lies something important: transformers. That's why Valley Electric Association is here illuminating transformers' vital role in our everyday lives.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
Let's talk about transformers. Not the machines that transform from cars to combat robots you see in the movies, but the kind you see at the top of utility poles or on the ground in your neighborhood. Transformers are used to step electric voltage up or down before it makes its way to its final destination. Why does this need to happen? Original power distribution voltage can range from 7,200 to 24,900 volts, depending on your electric utility provider's practice, the distance to the furthest member, and the amount of load served. That's much too high a voltage for safe home or business use. Transmission lines connect the power to substations brimming with transformers and control equipment. This is the first place where they transform the voltage to safer, more manageable levels for the distribution system. The voltage then travels through distribution lines, takes one or two more steps down, and arrives at your home. Power feeds into your home's electrical outlets and lights at 120 volts, while water heaters, ranges, and HVAC systems receive 240 volts, both considerably lower than the original voltage. Here's a quick look at how transformers actually work for a typical American home. Transformers start with an iron core. On two sides of this iron core, wire is coiled. On the high voltage side, the coil is wrapped around the core many times. This side receives or produces high voltage. On the other side, the coil is wrapped around fewer times, receiving or producing lower voltage. As the electricity flows through the high voltage coil, it creates a magnetic field that induces a lower voltage in the other coil. That's how the magic of transformation takes place. Transformers are everywhere in our daily lives, not just on your utility provider's lines. Take your cell phone charger, for example. Many of these small cousins of utility transformers perform a similar function. Charging your cell phone with 120 volts will fry it instantly, so the charger converts the voltage to a more tolerable 5 volts or so. The use of electricity touches nearly every aspect of our modern lives, and we have transformers to thank for bringing it safely into our homes.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's take a look outside through our Lerner and Rowe weather cam at the beautiful horses enjoying the beautiful weather. Not too hot outside and the breezes are manageable. We have a few scattered clouds and there might be rain in the forecast. All that and more next.
Weather is sponsored by the Nevada Dairy Farmers and the Dairy Council of Nevada, sharing the love of all things dairy. Celebrate the best moments with milk. Milk the moment. And the weather is also brought to you by the Ponderosa Dairy, Nevada's largest dairy, fresh from our farm to your table.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. I'm Mike Ruhan from the Channel 25 Weather Studios. Let's check out this weather map. Fernley saw 97 degrees, 99 in Fallon, Carson City, and Tonopah tied at 90 for the second day in a row. 91 in Goldfield, Beatty saw 98 like a boy band, 103 in Amargosa, 97 in Las Vegas, Death Valley up to their old tricks, 115, but here in our beautiful paradise of Pahrump, our current temperature is 96 degrees. We hit 98 earlier because we like boy bands too. Winds were south, 13 miles per hour, humidity 24%. That sun rose this morning at 5:39. Look for it to go away at 8 o'clock exactly. 36% humidity this evening, southeast winds 15 miles per hour, and the low is going to be 77. Let's check out our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, got a high of 96, kind of low, huh? We have a 15% chance of rain on Friday. On Saturday, 99. We go back up into the hundreds on Sunday, 101 on Monday, 100. Tuesday, 98. Wednesday and Thursday, both 99, and I feel fine. Back to the desk. Here's Unette.
Thanks so much, Mikey. And as we say goodbye tonight, we also say goodbye to a Hollywood singing and actress legend. Connie Francis died at the age of 87, and she is best known for her hits throughout the 1950s and 60s in the music industry. Thank you so much for keeping the music alive. That does it for this edition for News 25. I'm Unette Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and Ace Country Radio, thanks for joining us. Good night.